When we think about colonialism, we generally think about something that happened centuries ago that has very little bearing on the world as we know it. But that's not quite true, especially if we take into account all the negative impacts colonialism has had on indigenous populations. So, what is colonialism? It's the act of acquiring control over a population and its territory, occupying that territory, and exploiting both the population and its environment. Colonization is a violent act. The colonization of Latin America began in the 15th century by Spain, who went there in search of gold and silver. That mission quickly expanded to include the conversion of the indigenous population to Catholicism. Colonization resulted in the decimation of many indigenous populations. Their lands were stolen, they were exposed to sickness and disease for which they had no immunity, things like smallpox, tuberculosis, venereal disease. They were enslaved. Even after slavery, they suffer economic oppression, healthcare inequalities, educational inequalities. The very educational system we have is one that's modeled after a colonial educational structure, which means you're expected to learn this material in this amount of time, you will be tested, and you will pass or fail. This is directly contrary to the entire concept of teaching and learning among many indigenous populations. The loss of culture has also been tremendous, as indigenous populations have been forced to assimilate into the dominant culture. Now, perhaps a little acculturation will be tolerated, but it certainly won't be promoted. I am encouraged, however, by what I see as a resurgence in cultural, traditional, and ethnic pride. I hope that that continues, and I hope that we can all be together and understand that it is those very differences that make our world such a wonderful place to live.